This keeps getting wild for the Chicago Bulls. We're going to be talking about their most recent signing of Josh Primo, and then also, too, we're going to be talking about them releasing Marcus Domask and what this means for the upcoming season for the Chicago Bulls. This is your host, Rico Greenhowe. You found yourself on another episode of Bulls Digest, and so let's go ahead and jump into what the Chicago Bulls have been doing with this roster, starting with what they did yesterday in letting Marcus Domask go. And so, my thoughts here is that just looking at him in Summer League, he didn't really look like he was too comfortable on the offense and the defensive end. I'm not sure if it just came down to just the game speed. He had flashed a lot of good things in college, being able to rebound and score the basketball, defend, and it just wasn't at an elite level. You wondered, could he maybe bring that to the NBA level and find his way? And it looks like he is still trying to figure out, just what his main skill set is and just, I think, adjusting to the speed of the game. And so I certainly understand that the Chicago Bulls went ahead and released him. And like I said before, he just did not look very comfortable in his appearances in the Summer League. I thought that he was a little hesitant in shooting the jumper. It didn't really necessarily look like he was too confident in that. And then defensively, I think just going against some of these players in the Summer League and things like that, you could tell that maybe he was a little overmatched there on the defensive end. And so I think just probably developing the skill set and things like that. Wish him the best of luck. But yes, the Chicago Bulls have went ahead and cut ties with Marcus Domask. And so with that being said, let's shift focus, I think, to what has dominated the headlines for the Chicago Bulls today, and that is their recent signing of Josh Primo. And so, look, Josh Primo was the first round pick of the San Antonio Spurs. He was selected 12th overall. But when he came into the NBA, he was one of the youngest players, or I think the youngest player, to play in the NBA after going to school. I think so. When you look at his NBA draft profile and what they talked about, one of the things that they say is that he is a streaky three-point shooter. He does show the ability to shoot the basketball, but he was very up and down. The one thing that he could do was get to the rim and score against contact. And so when I looked at some of the things that he was able to do for the Spurs, I saw that there was a time during his rookie season, I think in January, where he put together 4 consecutive double-digit games where he was essentially putting up some big numbers there on the offensive end. He showed that he was a smooth scorer. That's one of the things that I did see, that he has been able to go out and shoot, I think, 43% from the field, 38% from downtown in his rookie season. So not too bad, for a 19-year-old that came into the league. Obviously, he ran into some off-the-court issues, which really derailed that career in San Antonio. He ended up going over to the Clippers, and then he was put into a two-way deal, which essentially got converted over to a standard deal. I believe he did face a suspension over there as well. But I think here's another young player that is trying to find his way, and they do list him at 6'6". And so one of the things that they talked about in his draft profile is that he would be able to possibly switch anywhere from 1 to 4 as far as guarding on the defensive end. I believe he has like about a 6'10", 6'11" wingspan, so he's definitely got the ability to really affect an offense and what they're trying to run. He can definitely cause some confusion there, perhaps get into the passing lane and get the fast break started. But once again, you see that the Chicago Bulls are taking a chance on a player that either it hasn't panned out in their particular situation, or they came in as a high draft pick, or whatever the case may be. And so again, just trying to take a look and see what perhaps might be there for Josh Primo. One of the things is he came out in the year when they had Jalen Green, who came out. Moses Moody was in that year as well. Those are just a couple of guards that were in that particular draft class, along with, there is some upside here if Josh Primo can find his way. He is still young enough at this point in time. I'm not necessarily sure what we are doing with the guards I think that we have an abundance of guards. And when I looked at the free agent list and you look at players out there available, it's an interesting signing, especially when we're looking at a guard because, look, there's Markelle Fultz. He's out there as well. So, I mean, like if you wanted to take a chance on a guard that was a former #1 pick, you could have took a chance on that. And he's also shown some promise in some games with some teams as well. And so, I'm not sure where the Chicago Bulls are really going with this. If he does make it to the G League with the Windy City Bulls, I could see that that is going to be a pretty good team. And that would suggest that if Modest Buzelis has to go down and play some G League minutes, at least he'll be playing with some solid teammates because that would mean that he would have DJ Stewart. Perhaps you would have Josh Primo here, Sanogo, Kenny Lofton Jr. Then you think about, you put Modest down there. And so, he would be playing with some players that could for sure play and definitely help him develop. And so, I think that with this deal and AK bringing Josh Primo in, this is more maybe of a long-term play if he does pan out because, like I said before, he has shown some promise in the NBA during his rookie season. Obviously, that got derailed with some of the stuff off the court. But you would think that, okay, he's young enough. You have the opportunity to go ahead and develop him. And who knows if the Chicago Bulls have something maybe planned here because they are bringing in guards. Perhaps they are getting ready to make a move that would suggest that they're going to open up some more spaces for players and they might need some guards. I'm not sure really where they're going with that, but that is a possibility in thinking about this. And so, that's my thing. It's a long-term play with Josh Primo. I think he's going to come out. He obviously needs to compete. He obviously needs to show that he can play in the NBA, and he's chasing after something here because he was the 12th pick in the draft. And look, for San Antonio to take a chance on him, Coach Pop, they had to have saw something in this young man that has some real prominence. So hopefully the Chicago Bulls can find a player that is hungry enough to get out here to prove himself and maybe be an impact player. He does fit the timeline for the Chicago Bulls, so that would be huge. But other than that, I think that when we look on the free agent list, it's looking pretty bare. Like I said, you do have Markelle Fultz, who's still out there. You also have a player like a Jay Crowder who's out there as well, Robert Covington. But with Jay Crowder, Robert Covington, these are players that are 34, going to be 35. And also, too, these are players that are probably going to want to go somewhere and try to win a ring, I would say. So, coming in and just mentoring young players, I'm not sure that that's something that they want to do, even though we do need something like that on this team. Because I've said it before, even if we are still developing young talent, you need to have, veteran leaders that are going to show these players the way, a lot like what DeMar DeRozan did. And this kind of goes into what Billy Donovan was talking about with Modest Buzelis and some of these younger players that, look, you don't want to just go ahead and throw them out there and that's it. You want to make sure that you are building those winning habits. You're making sure that they're doing the right things on and off the court, whether it's the weight room, eating properly, getting to the practice, getting the extra shots. And I think that that's what you would get with a pros pro like a Jay Crowder, a Robert Covington, like players that have been in some winning situations. And so let me know in the comments what you're thinking. Are you sold on this new signing of Josh Primo? Do you feel like he somehow, some way is going to pave a path to get onto the big club, or do you feel like he is going to immediately be an impact player for the Windy City Bulls? And lastly, do you think that the Chicago Bulls might have something up their sleeves here? Are they looking to make a move to open up some more spaces? Is there something else that is coming for the Chicago Bulls? Let me know in the comments. And so before we get ready to jump out of here, I just want to thank everybody for liking, subscribing, and sharing the content. I definitely appreciate that. I want to let you know that 64.2% of you that watch the videos are not subscribed, so make sure that you continue to slam dunk on that subscribe button for me, as it means a lot. And look, even though we are signing guards, and oh, by the way, we have a lot of guards on the roster, I'm still saying go Bulls, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.